Hey everyone, and welcome back to Book Summary Podcast for another deep dive.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
Today we're cracking open a book that's influenced everything from self-help to pop culture. Ernest Holmes' The Science of Mind.
The Science of Mind, yeah.
If you're ready to unlock the power of your thoughts, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into life-changing books.
That's right.
Now let's get into it.
Let's do it. The Science of Mind.
Go.
It's not just a book. It's like a whole system.
Yeah.
It's a system for understanding the universe and like our place in it, you know?
Okay.
And it's fascinating how Holmes blends like philosophy and religion,
Yeah.
even like early psychology,
Yeah.
to create this like guide to self-improvement.
Yeah, it's been hugely influential.
huge.
Published back in 1926.
Wow.
It's still relevant today.
Absolutely.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's start with the basics.
Sure.
What exactly is the science of mind all about?
So at its core, the science of mind explores this idea that our thoughts like have creative power. You know, so it's about like understanding the nature of God, which Holmes views as like a universal principle
Okay.
rather than a traditional deity.
Okay.
And then how we can tap into that power
Yeah.
to heal ourselves, to shape our reality,
Mhm.
and just live more fulfilling lives.
Okay. That's powerful stuff.
It is powerful stuff.
So how does this all work?
So how does it work?
Where do we even begin to understand the creative power of thought?
Well, Holmes starts by breaking down this concept of man's threefold nature, right?
Okay.
So he describes us as spiritual beings, mental beings, and physical beings,
Okay.
all interconnected.
So it's not just about our physical bodies,
It's not just about the physical.
but also our minds and spirits.
Exactly. So think of it like this.
Yeah.
Spirit
Mhm.
is our connection to the source of all creation,
Mhm.
this universal consciousness. Yeah.
The divine spark within each of us.
Okay.
It's, that feeling of awe that you get when you look at a starry sky,
Mm-hmm.
that sense of belonging to something bigger
Yeah, I can get that.
than yourself. So,
So then what's the role of the mental aspect?
okay, so the mental realm,
Okay.
this is where our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings reside.
Yeah.
And it's where we process our experiences, where we make sense of the world, right? And crucially, where we tap into the creative power of the universe.
So our thoughts aren't just fleeting things happening in our heads.
Well,
they have real power to shape our reality.
They do,
Okay.
precisely.
Yeah.
And then our physical bodies, they're the
Yeah.
vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
through which we experience the world
Okay.
and interact with it. Holmes emphasizes the interconnectedness of these three aspects.
Okay.
They're not separate compartments,
Okay.
but rather different expressions of a single unified being.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense.
So how can we actually harness this power?
Harness this power, yeah.
How do we move from simply thinking to actually creating the life we want?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? Well, that's where the science of mind really shines.
Okay.
It offers this like practical system for
Yeah.
aligning our thoughts with the creative power of the universe.
Okay.
One of the key concepts here is the evolution of thought.
Evolution of thought. Tell me more about that.
Okay, so Holmes traces like the development of human consciousness from our earliest ancestors,
Yeah.
who primarily acted on instinct,
Right.
to like our present understanding of ourselves as thinking beings.
Okay.
He points out that early humans had like a pivotal aha moment
Wow.
when they discovered memory,
Oh, interesting.
the realization that they could hold on to these experiences
Right.
and then recall them later.
That must have been a game changer.
Total game changer, yeah.
Yeah.
Suddenly, humans weren't just reacting to their environment. They were reflecting on it,
Right.
building a sense of self,
Yeah.
and realizing the power of their inner world,
So understanding this evolution of thought can help us tap into our creative potential.
Absolutely, yeah. So by recognizing the power of our thoughts, we can begin to consciously choose thoughts,
Yeah.
right, that support our goals,
Right.
our aspirations, rather than limiting ourselves,
Okay.
with negative beliefs or fears.
Yeah.
It's like upgrading our mental software
Right.
to become more conscious creators.
Okay, now I'm really starting to see how this all ties together.
It all comes together.
But there's one big question I still have.
Yeah.
What about God?
What about God?
Where does God fit into all of this?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's one that Holmes addresses in a really unique way.
Okay.
He doesn't see God as like this traditional anthropomorphic figure,
Okay.
but rather as a universal principle.
So what does that mean exactly?
Okay, so think of it like this. Have you ever noticed how the universe seems to operate with incredible order
Right.
and precision?
Mm.
There are laws of physics, there are laws of nature,
Yeah.
and everything seems to follow these laws with like remarkable consistency.
Yes, that's always fascinated me.
So Holmes sees God as the intelligence
Okay.
or the principle behind these laws,
Right.
a kind of universal consciousness,
Hmm.
that permeates everything. He calls this principle the law.
Okay.
Right. And he sees it operating
Yeah.
through this threefold process:
Okay.
spirit, law, and result.
Okay, that's a bit to unpack. Can you break that down for me?
Yeah, of course, of course. So think of spirit as the source,
Mhm.
right? That pure potential from which everything arises. It's like the blank canvas before the painting begins, right?
Okay.
The law
Mm-hmm.
is the set of universal principles that govern creation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the brush strokes, that create the image. Okay.
And the result is the manifestation of spirit
Yeah.
through law,
Mm-hmm.
the completed artwork.
So it's like a formula: spirit plus law equals result.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And understanding this formula is essential to unlocking our creative power
Mm-hmm.
because it helps us see that, we're not simply at the mercy of fate.
Right. Yeah.
We can work consciously with the law,
Right.
aligning our thoughts,
Yeah.
our beliefs with the outcomes that we desire.
Okay, now that's starting to sound like the science part of the science of mind.
Exactly.
Huh.
Holmes believed there's a scientific basis to spirituality, that the universe operates according to specific principles, just like the laws of physics or mathematics.
Right.
If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell
Yes.
so you don't miss out on the rest of our deep dive into the science of mind.
And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're finding it helpful.
Yes, please.
Okay, so if God, or the law,
Is this creative principle operating through spirit, law, and result? How does creation actually happen?
Okay.
Where do things come from?
That's where the concept of the word comes in.
Okay.
A concept that Holmes borrows, like from ancient spiritual traditions.
Wait, like in the beginning was the word.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
But Holmes gives it a very specific meaning. He sees the word as the initial impulse
Okay.
of creation,
Mhm.
the divine idea that sets the whole process in motion. It's like the architect's blueprint for a building or a composer's score for a symphony.
So everything that exists begins as a thought in the mind of God.
You could put it that way.
Okay.
The word is pure potential,
Mm-hmm.
pure possibility, waiting to be manifested
Okay.
into form
Yeah.
through the law.
Okay. I'm starting to get the picture.
It's a big picture. It's a big picture.
But if we're all connected to this limitless source of creation, why do we experience so much limitation in our lives?
That's the question, right?
Why aren't we all living in perfect health, abundance, and joy?
Yeah.
If you want to find out the answer to this question and more,
Yes.
stick with us
You got to.
for part 2 of our deep dive.
Stay tuned. All right. Welcome back to part 2.
Yes, welcome back, everyone. So we're just grappling with this big question.
This big mystery.
If we're all connected to this, like, infinite source of good, why are there still problems?
Why isn't everyone like, a millionaire living on a beach?
Yeah. Why isn't everyone perfectly healthy and happy all the time?
Yeah. That's the paradox. And, the science of mind really tries to tackle that head on.
Okay, so what's the answer? What's the key to unlocking this unlimited potential?
Well, Holmes argues that it all comes down to our understanding of the law.
Oh, right.
Or rather, I should say, our misunderstanding.
Our misunderstanding. Okay.
You see, the law itself, that creative power of the universe, it's limitless. But it's our beliefs about it, our limited thinking, that creates the boundaries, the limitations.
So it's not that the law itself is limited, but our belief in its limitations is what limits us.
Bingo. It's like, imagine you have this amazing sports car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Top of the line, all the horsepower you could ever need, but you only ever drive it in first gear.
Oh, okay, I get it.
The car has the potential to go so much faster, but you're holding it back by not understanding its full capabilities.
So we're kind of putting these self-imposed limits on the power of the law.
Exactly. And those limits are shaped by our thoughts and beliefs.
Okay, so that brings up another question for me.
Mm-hmm.
How can thoughts have such a powerful impact on reality? It still seems a bit mysterious.
It's a good question. And, it's something that a lot of people struggle with. But Holmes explains it through these two key principles.
Okay.
Belief and acceptance.
Okay, belief and acceptance. All right.
He argues that our beliefs, they act like filters, shaping how we perceive the world and what we experience.
So if we're constantly thinking negative thoughts or focusing on what we don't want,
yeah,
we're essentially attracting more of that into our lives.
Right, exactly. We're tuning into a frequency, if you will, of negativity.
Okay.
So if we're always worrying about money or health or relationships, guess what?
We're probably going to experience more of those problems.
You got it. We're essentially putting up a big sign that says, hey, universe, send me more lack, more struggle.
Okay. That's not a good sign to be putting up.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But here's the good news.
Okay, there's good news. Good.
If we can shift our beliefs, if we can start focusing on what we do want,
Yeah.
on the positive, on abundance, then we start tuning into a different frequency.
Okay, a frequency of good.
Exactly. And that's when we start to see those amazing results in our lives.
This reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about radio waves.
Ah, yes, the radio analogy.
Can you explain that again? It really clicked for me.
Sure, it's a great way to understand how this all works. So think about radio waves. They're all around us, right?
Yeah.
Invisible, but carrying all this information, all this music, all these different programs.
Right.
Now imagine your mind is like a radio receiver.
Okay.
And the beliefs you hold are like the tuning dial.
Okay.
What you tune into is what you experience.
So if I'm tuned into a station of fear and lack, that's what I'm going to get.
Yeah, you're going to be bombarded with negativity and limitation.
Okay.
But if you tune into a station of love, of abundance, of joy, well then
that's what starts to show up in my life.
Exactly. You start attracting those things, those experiences, those people into your reality. It's all about changing the frequency.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But this is where I get stuck.
Yeah.
How do we actually change our beliefs?
Right.
Especially when some of these negative patterns feel so ingrained, so hard to shake.
It's a great question. And it's where the rubber meets the road. This is where the practical side of the science of mind comes in.
Okay, so it's not just theory. There are actual techniques we can use.
Absolutely. Holmes offers a whole system of mental practices designed to reprogram our minds.
Reprogram our minds. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, think of it as mental boot camp for your beliefs.
Mental boot camp. I like that.
You got to train those thoughts, get them in shape, aligned with what you want to create.
So it's not going to happen overnight. It takes effort and practice.
It does, but the results are worth it.
Okay, I'm ready to enlist in this mental boot camp.
All right, let's do it. So one of the key techniques Holmes talks about is something he calls argumentative treatment.
Argumentative treatment.
That sounds a bit intense.
I know, right?
What does that involve?
Well, it's not about arguing with other people.
Okay.
It's about arguing with your own mind.
Oh, arguing with my mind, okay.
Challenging those limiting beliefs that are holding you back.
Well, it's like taking our negative thoughts to court and presenting evidence to the contrary. You got it. It's about saying, wait a minute, thought. I don't believe you anymore.
Yeah.
I have proof that you're wrong.
Evidence based on the truth of our divine nature and the power of the universal mind.
Exactly. It's about consciously choosing to focus on the truth, even when circumstances seem to contradict it.
Can you give us an example? How would this work in real life?
Sure. Let's say you're struggling with feelings of insecurity or self-doubt.
That's something I think a lot of people can relate to.
Absolutely. So instead of dwelling on those thoughts, I'm not good enough, I'm going to fail, you use argumentative treatment to challenge them.
Okay.
You say, hold on a second. These thoughts aren't true. I am a unique expression of the divine. I have inherent worth and value. I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to.
So it's about replacing the negative self-talk with positive affirmations.
Bingo. Affirmations are another powerful tool that Holmes emphasizes.
Okay.
By consistently repeating positive statements that align with our desires, we start to reprogram our minds.
It's like planting seeds of healing and wholeness in the fertile ground of our subconscious.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Thank you.
And just like with any seed, with consistent nurturing, those positive beliefs can take root and grow, transforming our reality. And hey, if you're finding this helpful, be sure to like this video and share it with anyone who might benefit.
Yes. Spread the good vibes.
Yeah.
So we've got argumentative treatment, we've got affirmations.
Right.
Are there any other techniques that Holmes recommends?
He also talks a lot about the importance of visualization.
Visualization, okay.
Mental imagery, By creating clear pictures in our minds of what we want, We impress those images upon our subconscious and increase the likelihood of them manifesting.
So if I want to manifest a new car, for example,
Yeah.
I would visualize myself driving that car, feeling the steering wheel, smelling that new car smell.
Exactly. The more vivid and detailed the image, the more powerful it becomes. And don't forget about the feelings.
Oh, right, the emotions.
Yeah, emotions are energy. When we combine them with clear mental images, we amplify the creative power.
So it's not just about seeing it in my mind's eye, but also feeling it in my heart.
Yes. And believing that it's already on its way.
Okay, I'm starting to get a sense of how powerful this can be.
We're
It's like we're getting a glimpse behind the scenes, understanding the user manual for our own minds.
I love that, the user manual for the mind.
Knowing how it works gives us so much more control over our experiences.
Absolutely. And that's what's so empowering about the science of mind. It gives us the tools to become conscious creators.
So it's not about passively hoping for good things to happen, but actively taking steps to align our thoughts and beliefs with our desires.
You got it. It's about recognizing that we're not victims of circumstance, but powerful creators of our own reality.
Okay, I'm really starting to see the power of this approach.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
But Holmes doesn't just focus on personal transformation, does he? He also delves into the realm of healing.
That's right. A big part of the science of mind is about understanding the principles of mental healing.
Mental healing, okay.
Holmes believed that many illnesses,
Mhm.
if not all of them, are actually rooted in our thinking.
So our thoughts can literally make us sick.
In a sense, yes. When we harbor thoughts of fear, worry, resentment, all that negativity, it creates a kind of energetic blockage in our system.
Like a mental traffic jam that prevents the free flow of energy and vitality.
Perfect analogy. And those blockages can manifest as physical ailments over time.
Wow. So how does mental healing work? Do we just sit around thinking positive thoughts and hoping for the best?
It's a bit more proactive than that. Mental healing, according to Holmes, is about consciously recognizing the truth
Okay.
and impressing it upon our subconscious mind. It's about aligning our thoughts and beliefs with the inherent wholeness and perfection of the universe.
Okay, but how do we actually do that? Do we need special powers or training?
Not at all. Everyone has the inherent ability to heal themselves and others.
Okay.
It's just about learning to use the power of thought effectively.
Can you give us some examples? What are some practical steps involved?
Sure. One of the key techniques, again, is that argumentative treatment we talked about.
Oh, right, taking those negative thoughts to court.
Exactly. It's about presenting a logical case for healing to your own mind.
So we might say something like, my body is a perfect expression of the divine. It's designed for health and vitality. I am now releasing any thoughts or beliefs that contradict this truth.
That's perfect. And of course, affirmations play a big role here too.
So we might affirm something like, I am whole, healthy, and vibrant. Healing energy is flowing through me now.
Yes. The key is to choose affirmations that resonate with you and that address the specific issue you want to heal.
That makes sense. But let's get even more specific.
Okay.
Can you share any examples of how Holmes recommends treating specific ailments?
Sure. In his book, he gives detailed instructions for a wide range of conditions.
Okay.
For instance, he talks about how to treat constipation using mental techniques.
Constipation. Okay. That's something I think a lot of people struggle with. What's the mental approach to that?
Well, he suggests that constipation is often linked to a belief in limitation or
Yeah.
burden, a feeling of being stuck, weighed down. We even use the phrase feeling blocked.
Right.
So the mental treatment involves replacing those thoughts with affirmations of freedom, ease, and flow.
Okay.
You might affirm something like, my body is a channel for perfect elimination. I release all that no longer serves me physically and mentally. I am free and flowing.
Oh, that's a good one. What about another condition? Let's say eye trouble. How would Holmes approach that?
Interesting, yeah. He saw eye trouble as often stemming from a belief in limited vision, a sense of separation from the wholeness of reality.
Like we're putting blinders on ourselves, mentally and spiritually.
Exactly. So the mental treatment involves affirming our connection to the divine mind, which sees all perfectly. You might say, I see clearly with the eyes of spirit. My vision is perfect and whole. I am connected to the boundless vision of God.
I can see how that would be powerful.
It is. And remember, the key is to consistently affirm these truths until they become a part of your belief system.
It's amazing to think that we have the potential to influence our physical well-being through the power of thought.
It is amazing. And Holmes doesn't stop at physical healing. He also delves into the realm of the mystic and psychic phenomena.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the science of mind.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It has. We've gone deep into the power of thought, mental healing, all these fascinating concepts.
And now we're going to get even deeper.
Deeper? Well,
we're going to explore Holmes's perspective on mystical experiences, psychic phenomena, and the very nature of reality itself.
All right, I'm ready to dive in.
Let's do it.
So let's start with mystical experiences.
Okay.
What did Holmes have to say about those?
He believed that mystical experiences offer us these glimpses, right, into the true nature of reality. They're like those moments where the veil between, like, the physical and the spiritual worlds kind of thins out, and we experience this profound sense of connection to something way bigger than ourselves.
So it's like accessing a higher level of consciousness.
Exactly.
A state of, like, expanded awareness.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and he also saw intuition as a direct channel to this higher consciousness,
yes,
right?
Yes.
A way of receiving guidance.
Right.
And wisdom from, like, the universal mind.
Exactly. It's that gut feeling, that tells you, like, take a different route home. Or, hey, call that friend you haven't spoken to in a while.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so intuition's like a direct line to that universal wisdom.
It is. It is.
Okay.
But he also talked about psychic phenomena.
Okay.
Things like telepathy, clairvoyance.
Yeah.
And Holmes acknowledged that these phenomena are real.
Okay.
And they operate according to the same universal laws as everything else.
Yep.
He believed these abilities are latent within everyone.
Oh, wow.
And can be developed.
Yeah.
With practice and understanding.
So nothing too spooky or supernatural here, just an extension of the principles he's been talking about all along.
Exactly. Exactly. No magic wands required. But he did offer some cautionary advice.
Okay, cautionary advice, yeah.
When it comes to psychic phenomena, he stressed the importance of being able to discern, true intuition, that deep inner knowing, from just mere psychic impressions,
Okay.
Which can be misleading, or even harmful.
So it's like there's a difference between tuning into that wisdom of the universal mind, and just picking up, like, random mental chatter.
Exactly. It's like, you got to be able to tell the difference between your own thoughts and those that are coming from a higher source.
Is that the good distinction?
Okay.
So discerning true intuition, that's important.
Very important.
Anything else we need to be careful about?
Well, he also warned about the potential dangers, of uncontrolled psychic abilities. He emphasized the importance of developing those powers responsibly, ethically, always guided by love and a desire to serve the highest good.
Right. So with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
Well, I've got to use these abilities for good.
Always.
Okay, so let's talk about the big picture now.
Yeah.
How did Holmes view the nature of reality?
That's a great question. And this really gets to one of the most profound, aspects of the science of mind. Holmes believed that the physical world, as we perceive it, is actually a manifestation, of a deeper underlying reality.
Okay.
The realm of spirit or universal mind.
So the physical world is like a projection.
Yeah, kind of.
Like a movie playing on a screen.
Exactly. That's a great analogy. So the screen is real, right? The images are real, but they're not the ultimate source of the movie.
Right. They're just what we're seeing.
Exactly. There's a projector, there's a film, there's a director.
Yeah.
A whole creative process happening behind the scenes.
Okay. And in this case, the director is the universal mind.
Precisely. The source of all creation.
Okay. But here's what I'm wondering. If we're all just characters,
Right.
in this divine movie, does that mean we don't have free will?
The age-old question of free will.
Ugh.
Good one.
Yeah. I mean, are our choices predetermined?
Well, Holmes acknowledged that universal laws, those principles of cause and effect, govern the universe.
Okay, so there's a definite structure, like a set of rules.
There is. But within that structure, Holmes believed we have a remarkable degree of freedom.
Oh, okay. So it's not all set in stone.
Not at all. Think of it like this. Imagine you're given a set of ingredients and a recipe, right? You have the freedom to choose how you combine those ingredients, how you cook the meal, how you present it.
Okay, I like that. So we have choices within the framework of the universal laws.
Exactly. Our choices, our thoughts, our beliefs, they all play a role, right, in shaping our individual experiences within that larger framework.
So we're not just passive puppets then?
No, we are active participants.
We have a role to play in creating our own reality.
Exactly.
Okay, and that's where the science of mind becomes really empowering, right?
I think so. Because it means we have the ability to choose,
Yeah.
to choose thoughts and beliefs that align with our highest good, that support our well-being, that contribute to the evolution of consciousness.
Okay. But how do we make those choices? How do we shift from a mindset of limitation to a mindset of possibility? Especially when it feels like our old patterns are so ingrained.
Well, that's where those practical techniques come in, right?
Yeah, the ones we talked about earlier.
Exactly. The argumentative treatment, the affirmations, the visualization. These are all ways to reprogram our minds, to align ourselves with the frequency of good.
And Holmes provides a whole bunch of affirmations in the book, doesn't he?
He does.
Covering everything from health and prosperity to relationships and spiritual growth.
He covers it all. One of my favorites is, I am a center of divine operation. I am one with the infinite mind, and through me, all good flows.
Wow, that's a powerful one. Really gets to the heart of our connection to the source.
Yeah, it's a good one. Another great one is, I am surrounded by an abundance of love, joy, and prosperity. All that I need is always provided.
That's perfect for anyone feeling a sense of lack or scarcity.
It is. And for those facing health challenges, Holmes offers this one. The healing power of the universe is now flowing through me, restoring me to perfect wholeness.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's like, even just hearing these affirmations, I can feel their potential. But like Holmes emphasizes, we have to use them consistently.
Yes.
With feeling,
Yes.
with conviction.
Absolutely.
Until they become a part of our deep inner knowing.
Exactly. It's not just about repeating the words. It's about embodying the truth.
Right.
Feeling it in your heart.
Yeah.
Believing it in your mold.
This has been such an incredible journey into the science of mind.
It has.
And I really feel like we've just scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore.
There is. It's a book that keeps on giving.
It does. So
Yeah.
much wisdom and practical guidance. And before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with one final question.
Okay.
If reality is ultimately a manifestation of this universal mind, and if we as individuals, have the power to shape our own reality through our thoughts and beliefs, what does that say about the nature of the universe itself?
That is a profound question. It suggests that the universe isn't this static, fixed thing, but rather a dynamic, ever-evolving creation that's constantly responding to our collective consciousness.
So we're all co-creating this reality together.
We are.
Wow.
We're all participants in this grand cosmic dance, shaping the universe with every thought, every belief, every choice we make.
That's both a huge responsibility and an incredible opportunity.
It is. And that, I believe, is at the heart of the science of mind.
This message of empowerment,
Yes.
connection,
Absolutely.
and our infinite potential to create a world that reflects the highest truth of who we are.
I love that.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the science of mind.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you found it insightful and empowering. And remember, the power is within you.
Always.